All right, what a banger of a day. We have had day 2 of Swiss Stage. It is over. BNB is back with me. We're just going to jump right into it, I think. Like, we're not going to cover every match. We'll be having an episode come out tomorrow and the day after that will address the matches individually. But I think we have to talk about 3 matches that just stood out. One, NRG taking care of business with TL. Great drop, great execution.
I loved it.
Overlooked once again.
It's funny. I was listening to the podcast you did yesterday, where came down decisively that Team Liquid was going to beat NRG, and that NRG looked like the lesser opponent there. I do think Team Liquid. It was a confluence of a couple of things. I think Piosik plays up to the level of his competition, and then plays down to the level of his competition, and so I think you saw a T1 team, and I know we'll cover this, but that didn't necessarily look like they are firing on all cylinders yet, and is just not the T1 that we expect to see, and I know that Scoot expects to see. So I think you had those two things, but I think this NRG team has just been getting looked over time and time again, whether it be the LCS summer split or now, and so I think this NRG team, and we had it during the LCS summer finals, is like, they just kind of know how to play Team Liquid, and they proved it again on the big stage, which was exciting to see.
Yeah, I don't think I can't disagree with that at all. I think the other 2 matches that really stood out to me, obviously JDG, BLG. We'll dive into that a little bit more, but just dominating. JDG, I think, looks head and shoulders better than everyone else. And then the best match of Worlds so far, I think one of the best matches of the year, G2 versus Weibo. Like, that was just such a phenomenal game, so exciting, highs and lows. And I think it's made me even more bullish on G2. I was so happy with their win yesterday over Damwon. Then they were matching up against Weibo. I predicted the win. Robert was saying that actually he had Weibo as a massive favorites, and not without reason. But anyway, it was great to see G2 start to lose. I hate how they were, and I really hope they fix that decision that put them in that position. But I was like, they're 10k gold down, 4 Drakes down. They can't win this. But they didn't give up, and they found the fights that they needed, and it helps that Weibo's coin flippy, and they won the match. Just phenomenal.
That is the G2 tenacity at its finest. They can sometimes pull things out of their ass. We love to see it. I know we'll be talking about this on the next episode, but it leaves a lot to me about guessing whether Weibo has what it takes. They're going to be playing KT Rolster, and man, I think that'll be a really interesting matchup for them. If you're Weibo, I don't want to say you threw, but you kind of threw.
Well, you did, 100%.
I mean, G2's good.
You have 4 Drakes and like a 10k gold guard. Yeah. Sure.
This is the World Championships. You can't be fucking doing that.
No.
G2, by far for me, they're beating the LPL. They're beating the LCK. And so, for them to be one of the 4 first teams to go 2-0 and be at a best of 3 with the chance to advance, you'll love to see it. Really great stuff. They are the team from the LEC and the LCS that kind of always has risen to the top and continues to do so. Obviously, they have a big opponent coming up, though.
Yeah, look, I think that's exactly, but this is what we need. If we want a team to do well, and if we really believe in G2, they had to beat Damwon, they had to beat Weibo, and they did it, and they did it from a position where they should have just rolled over and died, and I think so many teams would have, and it's amazing that they didn't, because, what happens when they don't make that mistake and they keep the lead? Technically, they won the draw. I mean, they drew what is supposedly the weakest team out of the top 3 teams at Worlds. Especially, in our Discord, Robert does a lot of data analysis. He has a model he shares with us by a tiny margin, but nonetheless, 3rd place at Gen.G. So I'm happy it's not JDG. I'm actually pretty happy it's not LNG. I think Broken Blade said that they've struggled the most against LCK in scrims, but I don't know. I feel like this is going to be their best shot at potentially winning. And also on the flip side, this is going to be the first real match we're going to see out of Gen.G.
Yeah. Look, I think this is a Gen.G team that clinical. I think that's the way we always describe them.
Yeah.
They are clean. they are precise, they are methodical,
Yep.
but that is also usually what ends up being their downfall in these world championships. They make it to the final four, but then they don't always have the creativity necessary that gets them from, clinical, top one,
Yeah.
2 team to all of a sudden being like a world class team, right? And so,
Yeah.
I don't know if G2 is going to push them in a way that really challenges their creativity, right? This is a G2 team. To your point, they got down, right? And this is if you're Gen.G, you're like, this is the best possible opponent for us to have to go
Oh, for
up
sure.
to make it to the knockout stage. And so,
But
as
they've
much as
also had a pretty easy route when you think about
yeah,
it. GAM, super easy.
that's a free
T1,
win.
they look terrible, so that's an easy
Well,
win.
and
Now
it's a
they're
team that
getting
they're comfortable
G2.
playing,
They're
and it's
probably laughing.
but like Gen.G
It's
playing
so true.
T1 is
So
a
true.
team that they're comfortable playing, and so
They've
like this is
beaten.
another
They've
exactly.
beaten them so
There's
many
no
times. Yeah. But that's it.
mythology about that.
Absolutely. And I think you make a great point there. It's like Gen.G has a style, the LCK has a style, but
Yes,
it's important to be adaptable. How do you bounce back when you're down? How do you take the lead that are unconventional? I'm really hoping. I think, look, technically, we don't have the odds, but guessing them, Gen.G is going to be the favorites. So, all likelihood, Gen.G is going to be the better team that's going to win. I'm predicting G2 to win. Of course, I am, but it's also going to be a value bet. At the end of the day, there are going to be such underdog odds on G2 that I just think it's going to be that sort of value play that you have to take those bets. I would pay attention to the draft. I think that will be crucial. I would definitely look at taking over 2.5 maps. I really doubt this is going to be a 2-0. I reckon it's more a 2-1 game. And those are the bets I would take. I don't know if I'd go too heavy on this because, this is the first time we're really seeing Gen.G face off against an actual opponent.
I will take your bets because I will take Gen.G in a 2-0, and I think that unlike the flippy floppy nature
Oh,
that you've commented on and been very astute on as it relates to Weibo, that isn't Gen.G. This is a methodical team. I think you're going to
no,
see
that's
them.
true.
I think you're going to see them slowly climb their gold lead up, and it's just going to be like objectives, going from one side, going to the other. And this is not the team that I don't think G2 has the level of creativity necessary to really make Gen.G feel uncomfortable and do things that surprise them. Um,
Hmm.
I do see a Gen.G 2-0, and
You're a
not
hater.
to. I am,
Absolutely hater.
absolutely. I just can't. I just
The
can't
other
get there. I
match.
just can't get there with the copium. If you can,
Sure. All right. Well, I'll keep huffing that hopium.
yeah,
JDG LNG next matchup. This is actually a pretty exciting one. I know it's a regional
super
matchup,
exciting.
but what I like about this is that LNG is the team that has taken JDG to a best of five twice now. They've lost, but they've come very close twice, and you love to say it. Give us the line.
It is. I mean, it's not my line. Old philosophers, Plato, Aristotle. It's
Sure.
their line. It's really really hard to beat the same team twice, and it's even harder to beat the same team 3 times.
Yeah.
Um, with that said, and as it relates to teams who have gotten maybe a favorable routing to their 2-0, this is an LNG team that beat Fnatic. Again,
Yeah.
Fnatic, good team, but not the world beating Fnatic that they've sometimes been.
Sure.
And then a Cloud9 team. Now, Cloud9, and I know you want to jump in here, but Cloud9's been playing really well. And so I do actually kind of give
Agreed.
LNG a bit more
Agreed.
credit for that win. Um, but if I'm being fair, beating an LEC and being an LCS team to get to your 2-0, now having to go up
Hmm.
against a JDG team that's just going to be a class above both of those opponents, it's going to be a rude awakening, or it's going to be a reminder of what the LPL really is.
Yep. Agreed. I don't disagree with that. I think JDG is the team that's impressed me the most. We were tweeting and joking about it in the Discord. Discord has actually been awesome. Just watching the games and chatting with the guys. There's the link down below if you guys want to come join. But yeah, everyone got excited about BLG, forgetting that JDG is their father. They have that dad strength. So a great tweet saying that BLG is listed as a dependent for JDG on their tax returns, which I was like, that's such a good one.
So good.
It's hard to Look, I'm predicting JDG here just because it's the golden road. They've been doing so well, and at no point have I really seen them lose a step. They look so good in the match against BLG. And BLG, like I was saying this, BLG looks better than 90% of the teams at
Yeah,
Worlds or whatever. And then
totally.
JDG just looks like a step above, which is crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy, I think.
it's a class. They're in a different class.
Exactly.
Now, to be fair, JDG
Hmm.
did beat BDS. I don't know. To me, this is the game where you might see a LNG plus 1.5. I could see this
Yeah,
going 2-1. I assume
absolutely.
JDG is going to take the victory here. I think they're going to be hard pressed not to be massive favorites. I'd probably say like a 1.5, a 1 point. But I think the LNG at a plus 1.5, you're going to get some good value there.
I totally agree. And look, definitely look at taking the over. If it's sitting around the 23, 24 mark that we've seen on kills, I would 100% take that. In, all of their games,
I thought
they've
you meant the
had
23,
14,
24.
19, kills a piece. So LNG, JDG, happy to have a fight in the recent net. I'm talking about the games the last 2 days. So we can see that they're willing to fight. They're willing to fight each other. So I would look for that.
When
And I
you
think
said
that's about it.
when you
Maybe
said that
over. Sorry.
when you said the 23, 24 mark, I thought you were talking about minutes because these games happen so damn quick. They're so
They
good.
really do. They do. All right, guys. That's it for tomorrow's games. We are releasing a video the day after that's going to cover best of one, and then the day after we'll cover losers bracket best of three to see who is getting eliminated first. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching, guys, and we hope to see you in the Discord. Bye, everyone.